Donc, bonjour à tous et à toutes. Un gros merci à chacun d'entre vous d'être ici aujourd'hui. So, it's really nice to see a lot of people here today. And, of course, you probably all know me. I'm MPP Sarrazin, representing the riding of Glengarry, Prescott, Russell. And it's really a pleasure to be here today with my colleagues, the Honourable Doug Ford, I would say Premier of Ontario, one of the best leaders in Canada. Yeah. Thank you. And Minister Lumsden, Minister of Sports, Honourable Neil Lumsden. So really happy to see my caucus member, George Deroux, and all the mayors are here with us. So toujours une belle journée d'être ici avec les maires de Glengarry, Prescott, Russell pour célébrer des fonds qui sont distribués dans notre région. Puis on remercie beaucoup le gouvernement de l'Ontario. It is always an honor to stand alongside the mayors, like I was saying, for events like this one. Votre dévouement envers la communauté est vraiment important. Puis on sait que des projets comme celui d'aujourd'hui, c'est un projet que non seulement le côté politique a travaillé, mais avec évidemment votre administration, vos membres du staff. So we all know it's a team effort, and we're all glad. And I can say that we're really happy. I mean, we're going to give some more details later on this funding, but we have like 4 municipalities that did get that funding, and I think I want to thank Minister Lumsden and, of course, Premier Ford, Government of Ontario, for this. So without any more, I'll invite Mayor Mike Tarnowski on the podium.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good morning. Bonjour à tous et à toutes ici ce matin. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you all to Russell Township. I'd like to recognize community members, local partners, members of Russell Township Council that are here today. I'm also pleased to acknowledge my fellow mayors from the 8 municipalities that make up the United Counties of Prescott-Russell. And of course, Warden Yves Laviolette, who is also serving as our warden. Your presence here today and the ongoing collaboration amongst our municipalities at the counties is a powerful example of the partnership in Eastern Ontario, and that it's not just a concept, but something we practice and live every day. Working together across municipalities has been a shared priority, and I'm proud to see that spirit reflected here today. The support we see at the regional level is matched today by the presence of our provincial leaders. As Mayor of Russell Township, I'm honored and proud to welcome Premier Doug Ford, Minister of Sport Neil Lumsden, and of course our very own MPP Stéphane Sarrazin and MPP George Deroux. Your presence here speaks volumes, not only of the strength of our partnership with the province, but to a shared commitment to building strong, resilient communities. Premier Ford and Minister Lumsden, we're grateful for your leadership and for the attention that you've given to real on-the-ground needs of municipalities like ours, especially when it comes to infrastructure, services, and quality of life. And to MPP Stéphane Sarrazin. Stéphane, your unwavering advocacy, and direct engagement have made and continue to make a lasting difference here in our municipality. Your support helps open doors and move our priorities forward, and for that, we're truly appreciative. Thank you. Well deserved. As we approach the 50th anniversary of the Franco-Ontarian Day later this week, the Premier's visit to Eastern Ontario carries even greater meaning, especially in a region where Francophone culture, language, and community are deeply rooted. Monsieur le Premier Ministre, Monsieur le Ministre du Sport et Monsieur le Député, merci sincèrement de votre présence parmi nous ici aujourd'hui. Votre visite reflète un engagement concret envers notre région et nous vous en sommes profondément reconnaissants. As a township, we're not standing still. We are planning, investing in our future with a strong commitment to fiscal responsibility. to ensure our municipality remains a place where families thrive and businesses succeed. Today reminds us that a strong collaboration with our provincial partners is essential to delivering results that matter to our community. Thank you again for joining us. We're honored to welcome you to our beautiful township. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Bonjour. And that's, I hate to say it, it's the only French I know, even though I went to the University of Ottawa. I apologize to all my professors right out of the gate. It's great to see everyone, and it's a real pleasure to be here with Premier Ford and MPP Sarrazin. Our province is growing, and as it grows, we need facilities where people can stay active and healthy, where kids can learn lifelong lessons in leadership and working with people and understanding the dynamics that go along with everyday life through sport, and where families can create lasting memories with their kids and other parts of their family through sport and recreation, and where families, you know, really find memories and collect those memories and keep them forever as a result of sport and leisure because of participating with their kids and their grandkids. These spaces are the heart of our communities. And that's why our government launched a $200 million Community Sport and Recreation Infrastructure Fund. And I will say, first and foremost, the Premier totally understands and gets the importance of this fund. He understands the depth of communities, how important sport and recreation is to people, and how it builds communities. And to help municipalities and organizations across Ontario build on this and upgrade and repair facilities, we need to support our growing population as well. Through this fund, we're protecting local jobs and building critical infrastructure and creating more opportunities for people to live active lives and staying healthy longer, which ultimately impacts healthcare. Under Premier Ford's leadership, we're building a stronger, more connected Ontario, one community at a time, and I'm proud to be part of that. And I'm even prouder to be able to introduce our Premier, Doug Ford.
Well, first of all, good morning, everyone. It's great to be here, and it's great to be in beautiful Russell Township alongside, you just heard, Minister Lumsden, PA Sarrazin, and DeRuse as well. Great representatives in the local area as well. Mayor, thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing, along with all the other great mayors in the warden joining us today to celebrate this amazing milestone. Friends, our government has a plan to protect Ontario and the workers, families, and businesses who call this province home. Building an Ontario that is more competitive, more resilient, and more self-reliant. To do this, we're cutting red tape, keeping taxes low. Matter of fact, I've never raised a tax. I will never raise a tax, along with the fees, and investing in workers. Our government is also investing in infrastructure that we need to drive Ontario's growth to a tune of over $200 billion. We're making record investments in roads, highways, transit, hospitals, and recreation centers through our more than $200 billion plan to build Ontario. All to protect Ontario workers and businesses. Here in Eastern Ontario, we've invested $130 million to rehabilitate Road 3 overpass and repair and improve the safety of Highway 417. We also invested more than $18 million to support the development of Carleton Place and District Memorial Hospitals with new and expanded emergency departments, and that is so critical. We're investing over $93 billion in healthcare. We're investing nearly $19 million to support the largest redevelopment in St. Francis Memorial Hospital's history. And we invested $3.7 million to upgrade operating room space in the HVAC system at Hawkesbury and District General Hospital. And to ensure everyone is connected to world-class convenient healthcare, this summer we invested $25 million to launch 13 primary care teams in Eastern Ontario, connecting over 63,000 more people to quality care. And of course, we're making record investments to get shovels in the ground, to build homes faster, as quickly as possible, getting rid of the red tape and the regulations to make sure people have an opportunity to get a roof over their heads. That includes investing more than $39 million in projects across Prescott and Russell through the Municipal Housing Infrastructure Program, which will help pave the way for construction of nearly 10,000 new homes. Folks, this does not happen without the support of all the mayors, the warden, and their councillors. So I just, again, want to acknowledge all the mayors here and all the elected officials. We're also investing in community infrastructure across the province through our new $200 million Community Sport and Recreation Infrastructure Fund. Folks, I'm big, going back to my City Hall days, being a councillor, big into community centers, hockey arenas, gymnasiums. And I was talking to Minister Lumsden. I wish we could give it to everyone. So the number of asks, we have $200 million fund, which is a big chunk of change, but the ask is $1.25 billion. Correct. So I guess we got to hit up the finance minister next year to increase that. This money is being used to build and upgrade hockey rinks, community centers, and soccer fields across the province, supporting stronger communities and growing our province. Today, I'm so pleased to be here to announce that through this fund, we're investing $10 million to build the new Russell Township Recreation Complex. Absolutely beautiful. It's going to be a stunning facility. And as telling all the folks here, I can't wait to get back and cut the ribbon. This facility will bring state-of-the-art sport and recreational infrastructure to this growing community, including 3 full-sized ice rinks, an indoor 5-lane pool, a leisure pool, and a 10,000 square foot community hall, allowing residents of all ages to get active every season of the year. When it opens, this complex expects to attract nearly 600,000 visits every year. That's massive. 600,000 people will be visiting this complex every year. The new facility will help create jobs and grow local economy, allowing Russell Township to host tournaments and regional competitions for years to come. And that's not all. Through the Community Sport and Recreation Infrastructure Fund, we're also investing over $2 million to help restore the Clarence Rockland Arena, the Robert Hartley Sports Complex, and the Hawkesbury, in Hawkesbury, I should say, and the St. Isidore Arena in Nation Municipality. Funding will go towards new roofs and other infrastructure to extend the lives of these facilities, which are so important to their communities. Again, I want to thank Mayor Tarnowski and Minister Lumsden and our great 2 MPPs. They're doing great. And George and Stéphane, thank you for everything that you do for this community and for your leadership and dedication to Russell Township on this new project, as well as Mayors Briere, Lefebvre, and Zanth. They're all champions. And I especially want to thank again MPP Sarrazin, who has been an absolute champion for the people of Glengarry, Prescott, Russell. I want to thank each and every one of you, because without all of you combined, this wouldn't happen. And may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We will now take questions from the media. Media present can line up behind me and ask their questions through the microphone. As a friendly reminder, the format is 1 question and 1 follow-up. Please state your name and your outlet before your question. First question.
Hi, Mr. Ford. Gabriel from the French radio of CBC. We just learned a few minutes ago that the MPP from Sault Ste. Chris Scott, is no longer a member of the PC caucus. Can you tell us why?
Well, Chris will be no longer sitting with our caucus, and if I can ask you, you can ask Chris Scott the reason why.
And my follow-up question is, last week, Mayor of Ottawa, Mark Sutcliffe, he announced that his goal is to end youth homelessness by 2030. I know that you visit Campman this weekend in Barrie, Ontario, so I just want to have your thought about that.
Well, we're investing billions of dollars in homeless support right across our great province. I did visit one in Barrie, and it was terrible, absolutely terrible. You know, they went in and raided one place and found $9,000 cash in a tent. Why he's homeless with $9,000 cash, and it's through drugs, massive amounts of weapons, and massive amounts of ammunition. And these are places where people used to walk their kids in parks, and it doesn't matter where you are in Ontario. Why does less than 1% of the people take over a park for 99% of the population that uses it? It's unacceptable. We're going to move them on. We're going to get them proper housing and shelter, but it's not going to happen. We're going to work as hard as we can. When I say it's not going to happen, I'm tired of these encampments taking over communities. People are terrified to walk down the street because they get harassed for money for drugs. And up in Barrie, E. coli, they're by a creek, they're feces and go in the washroom, and the E. coli is going through the roof, and this is the water people drink. So enough is enough. I'm done with all this. It never happened. Like 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, we didn't have these problems. We didn't have the crime that we were facing. I'm done with the crime. The federal government has to get their butt moving on bail reform, Young Offenders Act, mandatory sentencing. I can tell you one thing. It's always the economy and healthcare. When we do our polling, crime is right beside it now. People are done with it. So we're going to clean that up. But the federal government has to change the criminal code. They have to stop dragging their feet and start moving on this. We want our communities back. We want our towns back and our cities back. And I'm not going to let less than 1% of the people hijack the whole system. I'm done with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Neville Hunt with the Community Voice newspaper in Canada. I've asked you questions about the Canada Lakes Golf Course in the past, but you've declined to answer because there was a case before the courts.
Yep.
Now that the Canada Lakes Golf Course legal appeal has been turned down by the Supreme Court, will the province use its authority in the Planning Act in any way, such as a ministerial zoning order to stop development on the golf course?
Yeah, so this went up to the Supreme Court. They didn't want to hear the case. The Supreme Court said the developer and the municipality has to deal with it. I agree with the Supreme Court. They have to work things out. And that's what they need to do between the developer and the municipality. Work things out, figure it out.
It went a little differently a few years ago. ClubLink owns the Canada Lakes Golf Course, and they own Glen Abbey. A few years ago, then Housing Minister Steve Clark called ClubLink and asked them to stop residential development plans on the Glen Abbey course. ClubLink immediately dropped their plans at Glen Abbey. If that solution was suitable then, why is it not suitable for Canada Lakes? And what did ClubLink get in return for their decision at Glen Abbey?
We never made any deal. They didn't get anything over at Glen Abbey. And now this went in front of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has ordered the municipality and the developer to work things out. So I have confidence that they're going to sit down and work things out.
Hi, Premier. Katie Griffin from CTV News Ottawa.
Hi, Katie.
It's not just Toronto that has had photo radar cameras that have been vandalized. It happened in Ottawa just this past weekend. Despite what police chiefs say about how they're working, you're looking to scrap these. You've hinted at changes coming. Can you share any specific details about what specific action you're going to take when it comes to photo radar cameras?
Yeah, first of all, I do not condone any vandalism of any kind. That should never, ever happen. But it just shows you how frustrated people are. And I'll use the stats just in Toronto because I know them. 32,000 tickets for going 2 kilometers over, 4 kilometers over, sometimes 10, 15 kilometers over in 3 months, by the way. So all municipalities are collecting hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't believe that slows it down. So when you live in a community, you find out there's a speed trap, you learn, you slow down. But there's thousands of other people going through the community that aren't slowing down and getting dinged. And if really the strategy is to slow people down, we're going to be giving municipalities across the province a lot of money to put in all sorts of street calming methods, from the little turnabouts, from speed bumps to flashing signs. And that's going to slow people down. The speed traps do not slow people down. They may slow them within the community, but there's so many other people coming throughout the community. So if our goal is to slow people down, which I think is very important by school zones, we're going to give them the money to put the infrastructure in place that will slow people down. I did this for 4 years at the City of Toronto. I could bring people to a halt, a stop, bring them under the speed limit. We can come up with all sorts of different strategies rather than dinging the people with fines. These people are working their backs off. And when they're going through, they get a 3 kilometer, 4 kilometer ticket. People can't afford this. And the other thing is, when you get a ticket, usually you can go to court and fight the ticket. In this scenario, you can't fight the tickets. You just have to pay it, which is unfortunate. Anyways, there's going to be a few mayors joining me. I've had many mayors tell me, we know this is a tax grab. This is what they told me. But I need money for roads and so on and so forth. You can't use people's pocketbooks. We're getting gouged with taxes all over the place. We're facing tough times. The goal is to slow them down. We're going to slow them down. I guarantee you that.
Touching again on your visit in Barrie with the encampments, where they've declared a state of emergency there, how do you feel about that approach, and if other municipalities should follow suit?
100% they should.
And what is the answer to the encampments?
Well, making sure they get roofs over their head, because when they raided that one encampment, I think they found over, 80, 90 shelter places for them. 3 refused it or 4 refused it. I'm asking the guy that got caught with $9,000 in his tent, what are they doing? When I went there, a woman walked by a group of us and said, I could be murdered if they caught me talking to you. You know how much drugs are in that encampment? You know how much cocaine's in that encampment? I'm quoting her. And, it's disgusting. It really is disgusting. We have put hundreds of millions of dollars for helping people with shelters. And then when you have people addicted to drugs, we're putting heart hubs in. We're spending over $500 million trying to help people get support for their addiction, get them back on their feet, getting them a job, putting a roof over their heads. But I'm not going to tolerate them hijacking a neighborhood. And it's neighborhood by neighborhood. Until you live across from one of these encampments, no one has a clue how they affect the neighborhood. You can't even walk down the street without being harassed. But less than 1% of the people are not going to harass 99% of the population.
Hi, Premier. Davis Legree with iPolitics. I just wanted to follow up on Mr. Scott, if that's all right. Your office is directing reporters who have questions about the decision to the Sault Ste. Marie Police. I'm wondering if that implies a possible question of criminality involved in this decision, and I'm just wondering what exactly you have been briefed on. Well,
something, I would go to the Sault Ste. Marie Police. I was informed literally in the parking lot as we're going through here. And, go to the Sault Ste. Marie Police. I don't want to interfere in a police investigation. And to follow up from my colleague Barbara in Toronto, she wrote a story recently about how some Canadian companies have raised concerns about your Buy Canadian directives, because they say they're just directives. There's nothing stopping Canadian institutions like colleges and universities from still ignoring them and working with American companies nonetheless. So I'm wondering if you're willing to take those concerns and put those Buy Canadian directives into legislation this fall. Absolutely. I've been on to Infrastructure Ontario. I've been on the new hospitals. I've been on the big guys, the Ellis Dons, the PCLs. I said enough. You have to buy Ontario. Simple. Or you just won't be getting the contracts. We got to start protecting each other. They're famous for doing it in the U.S. Let's see if they use our building products in a school or a hospital in the U.S. Not happening. And it cannot happen here in Ontario. So I've made it clear, not once, not twice, it must be 20 times. I've told the staff, and we will put it in legislation. Well, you got to worry about the fair trade deal. They're going to sue. Sue me then for standing up for Ontario jobs. That's what we're going to do. We're going to stick together, and we're going to use every widget we can that's manufactured here. It's plain and simple. If it's a few points more, we'll spend a few points more to protect Ontario jobs, because we can get that back through people working and investing. That's what we're going to do. And I can tell you, folks, I am on them like an 800-pound gorilla, and I will never, ever stop. And if I'm not on them, I'm going to get my big pal right beside me. He's going to jump on them.
Good morning, Premier. Just to follow up on what my colleague asked, do you think that legislation could also apply to municipalities, not just at the provincial level, but also at the municipal government level?
I know every single mayor in this province, I don't care what political stripe, they're pretty neutral. They want to support local jobs. I guarantee you, every single mayor here, every single warden wants to support their local businesses, and that's what we're doing. And the federal government, enough's enough. You have BC ordering Chinese ferries. You have out east where they're building the ships using German steel. God bless them both, but it's over. Like, let's start using Ontario steel on these ships, on the expansion of the military funding to 5%, which I support 1,000%. But let's support Canadian companies. I always say, rule number one, buy off Ontario. You can't buy off Ontario, search the country across Canada. If we can't buy it there, if it justifies it, let's give them an incentive to open up the factory here to start producing those widgets or those services here. And then if all other areas are exhausted, then you can go out and look at other places, because there's some things, it doesn't have the scale to open up a plant, and we have no choice. But we can do anything here. Folks, let me tell you something. We could be the wealthiest, the richest country in the entire world. But all levels of government, we got to cut the red tape, regulations. It can't take 15 years to get shovels in the ground to get our critical minerals that we have more than anywhere in the entire world, Ontario, than all the other provinces and territories. Talked to the premiers. I've messaged, I think, 5 of them yesterday. We're always in communication. And so that's the critical minerals. Let's start building that pipeline, east, north, west, and yes, south. We're unstoppable. But you can't have duplication from the federal government, no matter if it's EAs or impact assessments or this and that. Well, other people are giving permits in less than 24 months, and we're taking 15 years. Well, we're changing that. It's going to be less than 24 months. You can start moving forward with consultation with our First Nations communities. We've given $3 billion of equity, $70 million of training, $10 million of scholarships. Of critical minerals, I had the chief and his team over at my house to break bread. I think it was last week or maybe the week before. Anyways, we agreed. We're moving forward. We're working with them. And do you know what it was? It was a handshake. I always say, you know something, let the lawyers take care of all the other stuff. Once we shake each other's hand, it's a deal. And they were as happy as punch. And also Chief Sonny over at Airline. We're moving. That's going to be $22 billion. What we know about. I bet it's 10 times that, $22 billion, over 70,000 jobs. But let's start moving forward jointly together, and everyone collaborating, cooperating. We will and can be the richest country in the entire world, bar none.
And also, my follow-up question is, Eastern Ontario deals with an increasing number of housing development projects, and with it, additional pressure on public services and infrastructure. My question is twofold. Can municipalities expect an increase in funding to their governments to help handle the cost of infrastructure in 2026? And is the government planning to help farmers who risk losing parts of their lands to urban sprawl and to accommodate infrastructure needs?
Yeah, great question. So we're doing that right now. We're investing over $3 billion for communities and townships and cities right across this province. We'll never stop investing. Everyone's getting a piece of that $3 billion, including jurisdictions, Ottawa and the greater Ottawa area. And we're also supporting our farmers like they've never been supported before. And we just had the plowing match, had an opportunity to meet with all the associations in the farming community, and we're going to backstop them as well. We're putting hundreds of millions of dollars in the agricultural sector alone. Folks, we ship out over $26 billion of ag products, mostly down south. But that adds another $56 billion to the GDP of our province. So the ag sector is very, very important. I'm going to quote them. We have never seen more support from a government in the history of Ontario than we have seen from your government. That's not me. That's the ag folks saying that. So we're going to continue supporting them.
Hi, I'm Arthur White-Crummy, CBC News Ottawa. I was hoping you can update us, Premier, on the potential upload of both the LRT in Ottawa and the Highway 174. Just where are we in the process? How is it going? And how confident are you that we're going to reach a positive resolution?
Well, I think 100% confident. We're taking the burden off the people of Ottawa and the region by uploading the LRT. This mayor's done an incredible job. The previous mayor was a disaster. I don't have to tell you, all of you folks, what happened with the LRT when it was under their watch, but we're moving forward. We're going to continue supporting that. Highway 174 is going to be moving forward as well as we're going out for bid. But as we called it, the New Deal for Ottawa, we're moving forward with it and supporting not only Ottawa, but the region. And we're there for them.
And I just wanted to follow up on the Club Link question regarding that Supreme Court case. You said that the the city and the company should be working together on this, but the mayor has come out and said that he's going to use every tool at his disposal to block this development.
Good for the mayor.
Well, I'm just wondering how you react to that and how that squares with you pushing for a more amicable resolution of this.
Well, I always like working together, but that's the mayor. This is his city, right? He's accountable. He's the one standing in front of the microphone, in front of the media every single day. I support the mayor, and he knows what the people feel. I know the local mayors know how the people feel, and if they don't want it, they shouldn't do it. And if the mayor wants to put up roadblocks, God bless him. Good for him. He's protecting his community.
Okay. Good morning. It's Carol Goddard from the Record in Chesterville, as well as Eastern Ontario Agri-News. And in sections of Eastern Ontario, and I'm thinking mainly in Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry, there we have level 2 and level 3 drought conditions, and the crops don't seem to be doing very well, especially the soybean and the corn. And I'm just wondering if you are aware of any, I guess, compensation that is going to be available to the farmers?
There is actually. I think the last figure is about 150 million across the board, across Ontario. I believe we're increasing that by another 100 million, but we're there to support them, whatever support they need.
Okay, and I just have one quick little follow-up.
So you called on the weather gods. It's coming down now.
I know.
It's good. Rain is good for the crops.
Yes, it is. I'm a British home child descendant, and I'm wondering if there are any plans to have the subject of British home children put on the curriculum in Ontario for both elementary and secondary.
Isn't that amazing? You know, someone contacted me, and my grandfather, my dad's father, was that. I don't know if you heard about that. And so I did an interview with him, and I never met him. He unfortunately passed away when my dad was about 3 months old, but I learned a lot about it. And a gentleman just blanked out his name, but he's putting a whole book together. I think it's so important. The number of children that came over is staggering. Do you have that number? Was it 300,000-400,000 or something?
Well, a lot of it is estimated because the children often didn't even tell their children that they were British home children because of the stigmas that were attached when they were here. My estimate is at least 130,000 children were sent to Canada alone. And then
descendants of that, multiply that by the kids they had. And it was a big number, I remember him telling me.
It's quite large, and it's an important, I feel.
Yeah, it is.
It's an important part of the history, and to let their voices be heard.
Isn't it amazing you mentioned that? Because I just talked to him last week, talked to him a few times. But it's a piece of history that we should learn in school, because people don't realize it. And I learned a lot listening to him about my own grandfather. So that's good. Thank you for that. Let's keep going. You. I'll help you any way I can.
Okay. Thank you.
And this will be the last question.
Sure.
Hi, Premier Jeff Stephen, Global News.
Jeff.
Hi. Independent grocers say that by January 1st, they're going to stop collecting empty alcohol containers, and some are even going to be refusing to sell alcohol. Is there an alternative that could satisfy everyone so they could collect?
Yeah, my Minister of Environment, I find this is so important on the recycling of the bottles and so on and so forth. But he's coming up with a good plan. But, it's ironic. All these retailers, they all want the booze in the store. They all want to sell the booze, but they don't want to take bottles back. Well, what do they do in Quebec? They're forced to take them back. And we're going to work out a solution. I'm not saying that's the case. And there's opportunities, too, to open new businesses to collect the bottles as well. But I'm a big fan of recycling those glass bottles and the cans. So we'll come up with a system that's going to work for everyone. I think there's an opportunity out there for some entrepreneur to come up with an idea. And no matter if they're the automated, and I've seen these, the automated machines that you put your bottles in and they give you the cash back, or I don't know, a little trailer beside a store or a certain location within communities that you can return all your bottles. So there's a few ideas being floated out there. But I look at it as an opportunity for an entrepreneur to take the bull by the horns and run with it. We have a big province, but I'm all over this. Matter of fact, on the weekend I was talking to my minister regarding this as well.
And that concludes our press conference.
Well, thank you, everyone. This is going to be a great complex. We're going to continue investing in Ontario, investing in the people. We're very grateful for the local support here. And again, God bless you. And we're going to keep moving forward here in Ontario, greatest place on earth to live, work, and raise a family. Thank you so much, everyone.